Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a positive and productive day so far. My name is Kel with the Planner Aisle, and today I'm doing a detailed walkthrough of my wellness planning routine and sharing some of the updates and changes that I'm making to my wellness system for 2024. I'm super excited to film this video. Prioritizing your physical and mental health is one of the best investments that you can make and is my primary focus for 2024. This is part 3 in my 3-part planning routine series. If you want to see my scheduling and budgeting routines, I'll link part 1 and part 2 in the right-hand corner. I have a lot of fun videos coming soon, including my 2024 planner setup video, so make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. I also have new freebies available for download, so feel free to head over to the website to check those out if you're interested. This is a pretty long video, so I've included timestamps in case you want to skip ahead to a particular section, and if you have any topics that you want to learn more about or anything that you'd like for me to cover, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Without further ado, let's hop in. Before I get started, I want to take a moment and say thank you so much to everyone who's supporting me. My channel just passed 1,000 subscribers, and I'm so grateful to you all. When I started my YouTube channel a few months ago, my goal was to share content to help us be a little more productive in our day-to-day. Never in a million years did I think I would have 20 subscribers, much less 1,000. So to all of my subscribers and followers on Instagram, I truly appreciate your support and will continue to make content as long as you'll have me. So I currently use 2 planners in my wellness routine. The first is my wellness section that sits inside of my main A5 agenda. This is where I keep my yearly logs and trackers, fitness goals, and before and after photos. And then second is my spiral bound planner, and this is where I log all of the detail for the items I'm tracking for the year. So this year I'm tracking quite a few things. Those are weight, measurements, calories, water intake, exercise, and mood. And then I also track what medicines I take and any symptoms that I'm experiencing that day. This will, of course, look different for everyone depending on your lifestyle and what your goals are, but whatever that is, I highly encourage you to keep some type of log or list to track your progress. It's one of the best ways to identify patterns or bad habits that you may not recognize by memory alone. It's also a great way to stay motivated and just really makes it that much easier to hold yourself accountable. So right now I'm using my Louis Vuitton GM and the cloth and paper spiral planner for everything fitness related. I do plan to continue my yearly logs in my main agenda for 2024. However, I'm completely changing my system for the detailed logs and using my brand new VDS planner as my supplemental wellness planner to log all of the info that I'm currently tracking in my spiral. So before I hop into all of the changes I'm making for the new year and my new setup, I want to run through my current setup, the things that I'm keeping the same, and then a few tips and tricks that I use to stay organized and focused throughout my well-being journey. So starting in my A5 agenda, I keep my wellness logs in my wellness tab. In the front, I have 3 dashboards from cloth and paper. The first is this thick, hard plastic script dashboard. It gives a really nice overlay to the wellness dashboard. This one is a thick vellum. It's semi-transparent and layers really nicely over this white cardstock. So moving into my logs, my cover this year is the cover that came in the cloth and paper wellness bundle. I didn't use their bundle, but I loved the quote here, so I used it as a cover page for my logs and then used the back page as a place to write my goals for the year. I did create my own wellness bundle for 2024, so I will be using those for next year. This is my yearly cover, and then on the back is a place to list your goals, starting point, before and after photos, or any other targeted goals or achievements that you want to highlight for the year. For me, my goals page will stay pretty similar. I essentially split mine up into 3 sections. So at the top are my primary goals for the year, in the middle are my measurements on January 1st of 2023, and then I'll log what my measurements are at the end of December, and then at the bottom are my before and after photos. I did get a couple of questions on what I use for this page. These goal stickers are from the Erin Condren Metallic Sticker Pack. I tried to find them, but I don't think they sell them anymore, but you can pick similar ones up at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. These here are from cloth and paper. I believe they're the time block stickers. If I find them, I'll include the link below. And then at the bottom are my before and after photos. I printed wallet-sized pics with my HP Sprocket printer, and I just cut off the corners of some adhesive business card holders and then stuck a few pictures in there. I had some old stickers laying around from my decorative sticker days, so I just put some of those over some scratch paper, cut it down to size, and then slid it into the corner pockets. One tip if you want to use adhesive on your paper but you're afraid of messing it up or tearing it is to use transparent sticky notes. That's what I used here. I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to keep these here or not, so I used some of these Post-its from Office Depot and then stuck the adhesive directly on the Post-it. That way I can move it if I want to without damaging my paper. So after my goals, I have my measurement log. This also comes in a printable with the labels written out for you, but if you want to write it out yourself, similar to what I've done here, I highly recommend these little labels from Nicole Hutch Designs. They're super tiny and she can customize them for you in a ton of different colors if you'd like. So I designed this insert to track your measurements over a period of 1 year when logging every 2 months. So if you start in January, then your last log will be January of the next year. You can log more often if you'd like, but just keep in mind that there may not be significant change from 1 month to another. It does take time to see results, so I always recommend at least 2-month intervals so you don't get discouraged. So flipping over, you have my weight log and weight tracker. I do weigh myself every single morning. Similar concept to the measurement log. Weight fluctuates quite a bit from day to day, especially for women. So if you do weigh yourself daily, don't get discouraged if you don't see that number on the scale change. A lot of people advise against weighing yourself every day because of that reason alone. Personally, I think it's fine. It can actually be a great motivator as long as you don't get discouraged from those daily shifts in weight and don't let that deter you from your goal. The benefit of logging frequently is that it allows you to see trends over time, which is great if you're looking to change your habits or looking to make significant improvements to your routine. This is a weight loss countdown, and it just gives you a visual snapshot of your progress. I will have different versions of this available for download. One will be similar to the one here where you can write in your weight in each box, and then the other will count from 1 to 20 or 30 or whatever your target weight loss number is. Next, you have your yearly calories and water logs. For calories, I have 3 check boxes, one for you to write your target number, one for too few, and then one for too many calories. I like to color code here. It just makes it easier to monitor my progress and see trends from month to month. For me, black is my target, so the more black I see on this chart, the better. Red is if I ate too many calories. As you can see, red has pretty much dominated my year so far. Blue is if I eat too few calories, which for me is less than 1,200. I think it's fine to have some blue on here, especially if you're fasting or something, but just make sure that you're not consistently eating too few calories unless you've talked it through with your doctor or dietitian. It can really mess with your metabolism and cause some pretty nasty side effects if you do it for a long time, so just something to keep in mind. And then we have water, which is my biggest trouble area. I don't get thirsty and I'm very prone to dehydration, so I do have to set reminders and alarms to drink water. Logging my water intake has helped me so much this year. There's still a lot of red on here, but every time I log, I see the previous day's intake or how much I've drank so far that month, and it's just a constant reminder to drink more today so I can stay hydrated. This year, I'm writing in the number of cups that I drink each day, but next year, I plan to just color in the square instead since I already write the number in my supplemental planner. So flipping over, we have my exercise and mood logs. For exercise, I have 4 categories and then 1 category for other. The goal here is to have as much color as possible. So there's a number of ways that you can record your exercise. I like making these little slant diagonal marks. It's the easiest way for me to mark multiple types of exercise in one box. And then next to that is my mood log. I have 6 categories here ranging from excellent to horrible. As someone who struggles with anxiety, logging my mood has been such an eye-opener for me. I'm able to really step back and see how my mood has shifted from month to month, and it just really helps me identify patterns that I would have otherwise probably missed. So for example, one thing that I noticed was a lot of my anxiety seemed to coincide with new or unexpected developments at work. I also noticed that those were the days where I didn't exercise and tended to move around a lot less. So after digging a bit deeper, I realized that on all but one of those days, I ate nothing but junk food, I didn't go outside, and I had a total number of 2,000 steps or less. So now, whenever something unplanned happens at work or really any other stressful moment pops up, I always try and make it a priority to, take a deep breath, walk outside, and try and eat as healthy as possible. I've had several people tell me about breathing exercises and meditation. Unfortunately, I cannot meditate to save my life. My brain is on overdrive 24/7. So if anyone has any tips on how to meditate for beginners, please let me know in the comments below. So the last yearly logs that I use in my main agenda are symptoms and medicine. Because it's common to have multiple symptoms in one day, I have 3 boxes for each month here. Similar to my exercise log, I do use diagonal lines to color code for each month in case I have more than 3 symptoms I need to log that day. I list the most common symptoms here, but you can list whatever applies to you. And then last is my medicine log. I'm still working on designing this one, but it will look very similar to this. I use this to mark any vitamins or supplements I take, medicines like Tylenol or allergy meds. You can also use this to monitor anything specific that you're trying to cut back on. So for example, the yellow here is the number of ounces of caffeine that I had that day over my 16-ounce limit. Maybe you want to limit your wine intake to 1 glass a day, or maybe you're a smoker and you want to cut back on the number of cigarettes that you use. Whatever the case is, you can customize this as much or as little as you want. So that's all of the logs that I use in my main agenda. I like to keep the yearly trackers in this agenda since this is my everyday carry. It just makes it easier to log throughout the day and lets me see my progress and make comparisons much quicker than having to reference my supplemental planner. Again, my wellness bundle is available on my website. Right now I have it up for A5, but I'll be adding more sizes soon, so make sure to check back. So moving on, most of what I log here comes from my detailed planner, so let's hop over there and do a quick walkthrough of my current setup, the things I'm changing, and how I plan to use my Spek as my daily wellness agenda. So this is the 2023 Spiral Bound Planner by Cloth and Paper. It comes with a month on 2-page setup with a week on 2-page horizontal spread. This year, I used this to capture pretty much anything fitness related. I have this resilience dashboard from Cloth and Paper. I thought it was the perfect message for the front of my wellness planner. I use just a few stickers in here. I have a sheet of transparent dot stickers by Nicole Hutch Designs, some scale stickers by Adorned Plans, and then this little stencil sheet. I think this came from Michael's, but I'm not 100% sure. Flipping over, I didn't really use the monthly cover section, but I used the monthly spread to record my exercise, and then at the bottom, I summed up my 4 main focus areas and then rated myself based on how well I did for the month. So this worked okay for me this year, but I really felt a bit confined and limited in how much I could put here. So for example, here I have where I spent an hour and a half at the long leaf trace in a 1-hour Orange Theory class, but I didn't have enough space to include if I ran or walked, or if my class was a power class or endurance class. If you don't log any detail, then this should be plenty of room. And if you purchase the 2024 Spiral Planner, you can see that they did get rid of the notes and important dates section at the bottom, so you do have more space in your boxes. For me, I decided to move everything on the spread to my wellness log printables and my Spek, which I'll get to in just a second. So flipping over to the weekly spread, for each day I logged my weight and any comments or notes that I wanted to jot down in the blank box, and then in the grid box I wrote everything that I ate, how many calories it was, the total amount of calories for that day, and then how many cups of water that I drank. I also used these orange transparent dots to mark the days that I exercised and then tallied everything up in the bottom right corner here. So similar to my monthly spread, I felt really limited in the space that I have, mainly because I track a lot of areas. There were days where this just felt really jumbled and messy, and because I have to split up the things that I track for each day, it felt really disconnected, and I really just wanted to see a full picture of each day separately. So I also decided for 2024 to move everything on this weekly spread to my wellness printables in my VDS. So essentially, my VDS is replacing this spiral planner in function. I do still plan to use the 2024 spiral planner, but instead of a wellness log, right now I'm planning to use it as either a meal planner or maybe a mindfulness log. I'm still trying to figure that out, but when I do, I'll be sure to do a quick clip on here or on Instagram or something. So moving on to my Spek, let's do an overview of this agenda, my wellness log setup, and what I plan to keep in here. So this is the Janet Leather Velvet Sand Agenda by Spek. It is A5 size, or manager as it's listed on their website. I did have this customized. I'll put my specs on the screen here and then down below in the description box in case you're interested. So I've had my eye on this planner for a while. I love the color and the finish on this one, and I was able to design the inside exactly how I wanted. I'm not going to do a full walkthrough of this planner in this video, but I am filming a detailed walkthrough in a separate video this month, so make sure to subscribe or check back if you want to see that. So I decided to use this as my daily wellness planner for a couple of reasons. First, I wanted a setup where I could change things up if I wanted to throughout the year. So with my spiral planner, if I made a mistake or decided to reformat my monthly spread, for example, I would have to use a whiteout or another method to either cover up or correct any mistakes or errors. With printed inserts, I never have to worry about that. If I mess up or forget to add a meal or something, I can just print another page. It's also great if your goals change or shift throughout the year. You don't have to worry about making it work with your existing format if you don't want to. You can just reprint the layout that you want to reformat or design, and you're good to go. The second reason I decided to use this as my wellness planner is because this particular leather is incredibly high maintenance. I was thinking of using it as my main agenda for 2024, but since my wellness planner stays at home, I figured this would be much better suited staying in one place, unlike my everyday carry. This is a suede or nubuck leather that is so sensitive to stains and water damage. This came in almost 2 months ago and I've barely ever opened it because I'm terrified to stain it. I was aware of how high maintenance this leather was before I purchased, but when I got a watermark on it within 10 minutes of taking it out of the box, a huge part of me regretted purchasing it. But then I figured, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it that much. If it gets marks on it, then it just gets marks and I'm not going to worry too much about it. If you do want this specific leather or any other suede or nubuck leathers, I'm going to link below the leather cleaning tools that I use to remove water and oil marks and stains that do get on it. And I will say these work perfectly. I've essentially removed every stain that I've managed to get on here, but ultimately I have decided I'm just going to use it and not worry about getting marks. We'll call them memory marks or something. VDS has a ton of other leathers and custom options, as well as ready-made planners if you don't want to wait for Petra and her team to customize your order. The last time that I checked, I think the processing time was at 4 weeks. Okay, so hopping back to the guts, I plan to have 6 sections similar to those in my everyday carry. So I intend for this to be a full comprehensive wellness planner. So in addition to my daily wellness logs, I'm also including a section for skincare, gratitude, and reflection. I'm using the same dividers from Infinite Lotus that I use in my everyday carry. These are the standard blank ones, but you can order custom ones on their website if you like. So my 6 sections in this planner are overview, daily log, activity, skincare, gratitude, and reflection. I'm still waiting on a few inserts and dashboards to come in, but again, my wellness planner setup video will include the full setup of this agenda. So starting with my overview, this will mimic the first couple of pages in my yearly logs. So here I plan to have a list of my overall wellness goals, but I'm also planning to include my action steps as well. I talked about this a little bit in my 5 things to track video, but for example, if my overall goal is to lose 50 pounds in 2024, then my action steps or monthly goals may be to eat less processed foods or lose 4 pounds a month. One thing to note is that your overall goals should rarely change, but your action steps may change as you progress further towards your goal. That's another benefit of logging your progress and keeping track. It just keeps you in tune with your body so you can make adjustments as needed. Next are my daily logs. I talked about this a little earlier, but this will house printables with a section to list everything you ate that day, number of calories, a hydration tracker, a place to check off for vitamins or supplements if you take them, number of steps or exercise, and then a place to add any quick notes if you want to. I'm still finalizing the design for these, but I'm shooting for 2 days per page. That way, if you do have a planner with 30mm rings or larger, or maybe even 25mm rings, depending on what all you include inside, you can have your full year of inserts in your planner. The third section is my activity tracker, and this is going to house a full workout calendar with space to write detail for each day. So this is something that I didn't have this year that I think would be beneficial for anyone starting a new fitness routine. I do log if I did weights or strength training, but I really wanted a place to write down how many sets or reps that I did. That way I can make sure that I'm consistently adding more weight or reps to my routine so I can better manage expectations. You can use this for walking or running as well. Maybe you want to build your endurance or train for a 5K. Logging your progress will make it so much easier for you to stay on track. The fourth section is skincare. I started a new skincare routine to help with dryness and hyperpigmentation. I'm not allergic to anything, but I do get breakouts every now and then when I try new products. I purchased skincare inserts from Cloth and Paper, and I figured that those would be perfect for logging what products I'm using and how my skin reacts. That way, if I do get breakouts or have a reaction or something, I can hopefully trace it back to that specific product. The next section is for gratitude. I do use the gratitude section on the back of my monthly spread and my GM throughout the month, but I wanted to have a section dedicated just for gratitude. Logging gratitude has such a great impact on my mood and really just puts things in perspective, especially when I'm feeling anxious or stressed. When I first started logging, I found it really difficult to think of things that I'm grateful for, and then I just started listing anything positive happening in my life, no matter how small it was. Over time, it really helped me manage my stress better and just put me in a much better headspace. A lot of shops have gratitude inserts that you can use here. Cloth and Paper sent a few in previous sub boxes, but I also love the ones by Simple and Trendy Co. She has so many awesome printables. I probably own like half of her shop. If you don't want to purchase inserts, you can always use plain grid or notes paper here as well. And then the last section is reflection, and this is where I plan to record how I'm feeling, any challenges or difficult situations going on, and just anything that I want to write down that might give me better insight into my overall well-being. I really think having an area where you can reflect on your accomplishments and challenges can be really helpful for anyone who struggles with anxiety or depression, or even just to have a better understanding of your emotions and how they impact your day-to-day routines. I do keep a journal as well, but I like the idea of using this section as more of a targeted reflection as opposed to my journal, which I use a lot more broadly. If you don't want to use the reflection area in your planner, or if you have another method that you already use, you can always use the last section as a notes or miscellaneous section. That way you can use it for whatever you want to, and you can always switch things up if you change your mind. And that wraps up my 2024 plans for this planner. I do plan on using journaling cards in here. If there's any planner that can benefit from journaling or planner cards, it's any self-care or wellness agenda. If you're like me, you probably have hundreds of journaling cards lying around, so feel free to pull those out and place them wherever you need a little mood booster. Again, I will film a full setup video of this planner once all of my inserts are in, but I'm really excited to try this new system out. Moving from my spiral to a ring agenda will just give me a lot more flexibility and freedom to make mistakes that I'm missing in my current system. And that wraps up my wellness routine for 2024. All in all, I can't wait for January 1st. I did fall short of my goals for this year, but that just gives me more motivation to meet or exceed my goals for the new year. I'm working on adding all of these inserts to the website in the most popular planner sizes. I know a lot of you have reached out on the ETA, so thank you so much for your patience. My VDS planner setup video, as well as my 2024 Louis Vuitton planner setup videos, are both coming this month, so feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on those. Lastly, I just want to say a big thank you again to everyone who's supporting me and my channel. I love making content for you all. It's truly my happy place. I feel like we're all so much happier and content when things are organized and planned out. I wish I could do this full time, but for now, I'm thrilled at the feedback and support from you all, and I hope I can continue to share tips and inspo to make our lives a little bit easier. Sending positive vibes your way. Until next time, y'all, have a wonderful rest of your day.